Keratoconus. What is it? So, welcome. I really want to talk to you all about keratoconus and give you a bit of an insight into what it is and how it affects people's lives. So today, if you don't know, is World Keratoconus Day, and I think it's really important to give you the official definition before I start rambling on about how it can affect people, what we do to try and make things a bit easier. Keratoconus affects your cornea, the clear dome-shaped window at the front of your eye. The cornea focuses light into your eye to help produce a clear image. Keratoconus, your cornea becomes weaker and thinner at its centre, and the thinning causes it to bulge outwards in an irregular cone shape. So basically that's, instead of your eye being round like a football, I was always told it's more like a rugby ball where it sort of points out, which then in turn causes issues for contact lens fitting and the wearing of glasses. So this makes the vision blurry and distorted, as light being focused by the cornea forms an unclear image on your retina at the back of the eye. And it says here that it usually develops in your teens or 20s and can worsen over time. So I was diagnosed about 10 years ago, and that was my late 20s. And mine has been deteriorating over the years, and unfortunately that's the nature of the beast. It says here about in the early stages, glasses may help to correct vision, and as keratoconus develops, glasses may longer help. However, contact lenses can work for some people, and really you can get a very good level of vision out of it. Personally, I'm just over the driving threshold, so no, I'm not blind by any stretch of the imagination, but I am visually impaired on certain days. So you can sort of imagine when you're wearing contact lenses and you go from the cold weather into the heat, they'll steam up just like glasses do. And for me, I have to take them out, clean them, put them back in. Things like that just really grate on you, because you know you're going to these various places, going to see family, friends, when we're allowed. Obviously there's a worldwide pandemic at the moment, and it's really annoying when you have to take those lenses out and clean them. It's not as easy as taking your glasses off and giving them a quick wipe over and that's it, done. You have to make sure you've got your sterile solution, spare lenses just in case your soft lenses are daily use, you know, single use, so they're going to have to be thrown away. There's a lot of wastage as well, because each of those single-use lenses have a plastic container that then has to go into the recycling. Unfortunately, your contact lenses, obviously they've touched body parts, so they're clinical waste, if you like. So it does cause quite a few issues. One thing that we always get asked as keratoconics is, can't you just wear glasses? And I love that. I really love that saying, and I've actually named my podcast "Can't You Just Wear Glasses?" because I think it's such a prominent thing that everybody with keratoconus gets asked. So I wear two contact lenses in each eye. There's a soft lens and then a hard lens. So the soft lens essentially is for comfort. It's classed as a piggyback lens. So you put the lens in, you'll then get the rigid gas permeable lens, pop that on top of it for the vision. Now, you can imagine having two little things in your eye at once. It does cause a bit of discomfort, and that's something that's ongoing. You know, I don't think I can remember the last time I had a day that there was no pain at all. So yeah, it does cause a few problems. So imagine when you're driving along on the motorway, 70 miles an hour, you blink a little bit because your eye's a little bit uncomfortable and your lens pops out. What are you going to do? This has happened to me on more than one occasion. You know, luckily I managed to pull over onto the hard shoulder. And yes, I did have a spare lens with me, as I do everywhere I go. The lens goes in, and you carry on your normal day. There are days when you don't take your spare lenses, or some people don't have them. I dread to think what would happen if they were going along and had to pull over. I remember when I went skiing, I was in a minibus on the way to Austria. You want to go to sleep, so you have to take your lenses out. One of them came out well, went into the box, fine. The next one, no idea where it went. At this time I didn't have spare lenses. I was very new to contact lenses, and you can imagine it nearly ruined my entire trip. I had the whole of the minibus crew looking for this tiny lens, which is probably half the size of my little fingernail. And anyway, it turned out, because I am sensible, I will have a coat in front of me, or a jumper or something to catch it into. And this one time I had a plastic case that I keep all of my bits and bobs in, lenses, glasses, solution, and so on. It had got in there and wedged itself right in the corner. So yeah, that took probably an hour for me to find that. Imagine if you're commuting to work or going to pick the children up from school or something, and that happens. It's not going to be a very good thing to do, is it? But these are all little issues that we can overcome by taking precautions. If you see anyone with keratoconus, we've always got shades on the head. I do find that when I'm driving, I've always got shades on, and they do help, especially when that lens pops itself out. It will hit the lens, and most of the time it will stick to the front of the glasses. So it's just a case of taking them off, get your lens, clean it, and put it back in. There's various different methods. Carry spare lenses if you can afford them, or if you're allowed them. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. So back to the keratoconus and how it affects our sight. I explain it to a lot of people of looking through a stained glass window half the time, to be honest, or a frosted window. It differs day to day, at the moment I'm looking here, I'm looking at my laptop screen, and I can see the writing. It is zoomed in slightly. But then other days I'll come downstairs, I can't even see the stairs. It's very, very strange, and it's really, really difficult to try and explain to people who haven't experienced it what it actually is like. So officially, keratoconus causes your cornea to develop an irregular, uneven shape. This affects how it focuses light into your retina at the back of your eye. It can make the vision blurry and distorted, and this type of focusing problem is known as an irregular astigmatism. It can also cause your eye to become more short-sighted, making distant objects appear blurred, whilst nearer objects are clearer. Personally, I don't think I've seen an object that isn't blurred for probably about 10 years since having the condition. There's various side effects. I've got posterior blepharitis, which is my tear ducts being cloggy, so they don't sort of self-lubricate my contact lenses as much as they would if I didn't have it. So that means I have to get a heat bag, put it onto my face for 10 minutes, and then get a cotton bud type thing and sort of scrape the gunk out of the tear ducts. And sometimes this has to be done 4 or 5 times a day. Other times I won't have to do it for a week, 2 weeks at a time. I do find in the summer, when the weather's nice, it is better. Certainly when it comes to driving, this time of year in the autumn and going into the winter, it's very difficult. I will guess that 90% of people with keratoconus wouldn't dream of driving in the dark, for the simple fact of the lights coming towards you just completely blind you, and it's not worth taking that risk, is it? I had a chat with my optometrist who said that they base your vision on the best vision. So if your best vision means that you're able to drive, then you can keep your driving license. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because I wouldn't say I get perfect vision every day. Well, it's never perfect, but I think you know what I mean by now. So it is a difficult one, but it's nice to be able to keep the driving license in case there are days when, like me, most days I can drive. But, and you can keep that independence with work, family, and everything else. So I served for 14 years in the military, and obviously having blurred vision isn't the best thing, hence why I'm not in the military anymore. I served as a Challenger 2 main battle tank crewman for half of that career. The other half of it was sort of desk jobs and that sort of thing, coming to the end of my career. I wasn't medically discharged, but it was on I was on a short contract where that contract came to an end. I would normally have then been given the opportunity to apply for a different contract or go to a different place. However, I spoke to a few different people who said, it's not right. I'm fit for further service due to having keratoconus. If you were to look on the joining criteria, keratoconus is a complete bar for the military. So I do feel very lucky that I managed to get the years that I did in before getting diagnosed with this condition. Otherwise, I'd never been the places and done the things that I've done. Of course, I fully understand that, because you wouldn't want to send anybody to a firing range whose vision isn't perfect, would you? For obvious reasons. So since leaving the military, I've done various amount of things to try and help other people with this condition. I'm a published author of all things. I published a book about a year and a half ago now called Keratoconus and Me. And as you can tell by the title, it's all about what I've done since being diagnosed with this condition. It's available on Amazon, or if you'd like to order a signed copy, then get in touch and I'll send one across to you. All funds will go to Fight for Sight, the eye research charity who I'm a charity ambassador for. I feel very strongly about it that money should be going towards eye research to try and help those in need. For me, it's not so bad, but if I was diagnosed at the age of 15, 18, it would have been a different story. I really feel for those people that are getting a diagnosis so young, because if they deteriorate like I have, then they're never going to get the same opportunities of going to join the armed forces, or to become an airline pilot, or whatever it may be. So I think it's very important that money goes into the pot to help with the research to see if there is ever going to be a cure. There are various treatments available, cross-linking, a corneal transplant, and many others. What I would do, if you want to research it more, is to go onto a local self-help group, as you can see on my t-shirt. Have a look. There's a lot of people who have had those treatments done. I wouldn't really want to go and talk about that too much, because I haven't experienced it. I'd rather tell you the facts of how it's affected me and what I've had done. But I can certainly put you in touch with people who have had those treatments. So please, don't be afraid to get in touch. So if there are any questions that anybody wants to ask me, or even if there's any comments you'd like to make, I'm always looking for people to join me on my podcast, to share stories, just to get the word out there, because the condition isn't that well known. It's classed as a rare disease, So you know, and there's differing sort of stories out there saying 1 in 500, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 2,000. You know, I don't know the official number, but you know, I don't know many people with it, and you know, it's just one of those things that you get diagnosed, you do a bit of research, and then you just push on with what you're going to do, and it's an inconvenience more than anything else. But please get in touch if you need any advice or any help. And thank you very much for listening to me waffling on about keratoconus. It is World Keratoconus Day. So do something. Do something that might give you an idea of how people with keratoconus see. So maybe get in your bathroom and look through the frosted window, or if you're in a church, look through some stained glass windows and just try and think about what it might be like to have that as your vision all of the time. You know, there's plenty of things you can do to help people who need it. Go on the Fight for Sight website, go on the Keratoconus group website. Over the pond in America, you've got the National Keratoconus Foundation, who I've done a lot of work with in the past. There's Keratoconus GB, the Keratoconus groups all over social media. Get in touch, don't suffer in silence, and if we can help, we will. Thank you.